All right, this is worksheet 4. It's the mean, median, and mode, which means by now you've seen how to get those things from 120. So it's just basically more practice at that. And I would definitely do all of these in the calculator, because why find the mean some other way? You can. I could add these up. 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9. It wouldn't take me that long, but as long as I'm doing it anyway, I can get it to figure out the median for me. Okay, so I've put them all in and divided by, so let's see, and I think that would be a divide by 10. Okay, and I got 6.2. All right, really, I just got it off my calculator. I put them all in list 1, okay, and just said one variable stats. And then I wrote that down. X bar is always going to be what the mean is. And then I scroll all the way down to find the median. And it tells me that is 6. Kind of makes sense. As long as they're in order right there. So as long as they're in order, I kind of just look at it and tell the median's got to be somewhere in the middle. And there's a whole bunch of 6s in there. It's bound to land on one of them. And then the mode, whichever one there's the most of. All right, there's definitely a lot of 6s. There's a couple of 5s, but nothing else even comes close. The mode is 6. All right. So then I put in the next list of numbers. Okay, here I think there's 11 numbers. So it would overwrite the others when I go 0, enter, 0, enter. It'll be wiping those ones out. Okay, so I put them all in and then hit one variable stats. X bar equals 1.818, repeating like that. When you're doing stuff, just either round to like one place or two places, so I'm just going to call that 1.8. If someone else wants to call it 1.82, that's fine as well, because you're just rounding. All right, and at the same time, I got my calculator tell me the median, which it said was 1. Again, kind of makes sense. They're in order, and as long as they're in order, I can just kind of look at the middle and see that there's a whole bunch of 1s right there in the middle. Mode. Now, this is why I kind of put this on here, is for all these weird things that can happen for mode. I mean, I know I'm going to get the mean and the median because I'm just going to use my calculator every single time. So, mode. There's a whole bunch of 0s. There's a whole bunch of 1s. Not so much of anything else. So it's a tie. There's 4 of those and 4 of those. I'm going to call this bimodal, and then I'm going to say 0, 1. Okay, it's got 2 modes. If there'd been 5 zeros and 4 1s, I'd have called it 0. All right, but if there's a tie for the top, then you can say bimodal. All right, then I do the third problem. So I go back into list 1. Now I have like 11 things left in there from last time. And I've only got 6 things here. So no, it's not going to be able to overwrite. So if I have the cursor down below list 1, if I have the cursor right here, I can start hitting the delete button and it'll start taking those numbers out. Don't put the cursor up there on the L1 and hit delete, because it'll take L1 completely off your calculator and then we have to put it back on again. Okay, so delete from here. I never go with that clear thing, because by the time I get to it, I can't remember what was I supposed to hit when I'm on L1? Clear or what? So I end up like accidentally deleting L1 out all the time. So I just always just put the cursor here and go delete, 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 delete. It doesn't take that long. All right, then I put in those 6 numbers and ask it, what's the mean and the median? And 138. 138 isn't really a number that's on here, because there's 6 numbers, so in the middle is like right in there, somewhere between 131 and 145, and your calculator just averaged these two and said, oh, well, what's in between those? Oh, 138. And that's why your calculator says that. You can always take your calculator at its word when it tells you the median. You don't have to rationalize this. Does that make any sense? Yes, the calculator is correct on that. However it figured it out, it's just averaging those 2 numbers. All right, and mode. There is no mode. Everything's on here just like once. Okay, that's a tie for 0th place. That's like no. So just mode none. All right, and then this one, now I could probably overwrite my last one because there's like 9 here. It'll overwrite those, but, or you can go back and delete, 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 delete. Okay, so when I do this, x bar equals 0. Is that true? Well, yeah, it is, because if you add these 4 up, that's negative 16, and these 5 up, that's positive 16. So, yeah, actually, when you add them all up, it is 0. That is correct. And median, my calculator just says 1. That one right there. And mode, there's a whole lot of negative 4s here. So that's how to do worksheet 4. Oh, yeah, so on like the homework part of it, they're not in order, and if you wanted to do median by hand, you would have to put them in order. So the worksheet says something about put them in order for median. If you're putting them in the calculator, you don't have to. If you're planning on getting the median by way of the calculator, you don't need to put them in order. The only time you really need to look at the numbers closely is when you're deciding, hey, what's the mode? And you can usually just kind of count those off. Hey, I see a whole bunch of 2s in this, and then just go with that. Okay, so it does say, oh, well, if you want the median, you got to put them in order. You don't have to for the calculator. Calculator doesn't care whether or not you put them in order.